Well, he is the guy who comes in with a mastery of all things, movies, music, and he arrives on a rainbow. Yes. He writes for the Marina Times, and he's all over social media as the Culture Blaster. He's Michael Snyder, everybody. Hi, Michael.
Hey there, Michael.
Hey, hi, Mark. Hi, Brett and John. You know, I'm a day early, but that's okay.
Yeah, normally on Friday, but I'm not going to be here tomorrow. So I said, well, we'll just skip a week. He said, no. I've got big movies. We got to talk about them. Okay. All right.
Hey, I want to point out, I'm wearing my Mark Birch Bye-Bye TV T-shirt here. I got my T-shirt.
All the time. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Anyway, I got it. Listen, guys, the 1950s are back, at least for this weekend at the movies. We've got West Side Story, the new revival of the classic Broadway musical. This is directed by Steven Spielberg, and we have Being the Ricardos, directed and written by Aaron Sorkin, and let's get right to it, okay? I mean, in an attempt to defuse any possible PC blowback, this new movie version of West Side Story features a lyric change from every Puerto Rican's a lousy chicken to every Puerto Rican loves to eat jerk chicken.
Oh, they had to actually change some lyrics.
No, I'm lying about that.
Oh, my God, Michael. I don't know what to
say. What?
Yeah,
anyway,
don't do that.
So Spielberg's West Side Story is the best film version of the musical since 1961. Okay, right.
It's also the only one.
Yeah, that's right. It's the first one.
That's the joke there, right?
Quibble.
Okay.
All right. The original Broadway production took the star-crossed romance and the warring clans of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet and reimagined it by setting it in the slums of New York City in the late 1950s when gang violence would erupt between young working-class white residents and their opposite numbers among newly immigrated Puerto Ricans, Jets and Sharks as the gangs instead of Montagues and Capulets, with the glorious music of Leonard Bernstein, lyrics by Stephen Sondheim, book by Arthur Lawrence, and choreography by the great Jerome Robbins. West Side Story was and remains, to my mind, the greatest American musical. And guess what? The remake is done beautifully and faithfully with a superb cast, fairly intact orchestrations, and some updated dances. And it's also put into a deeper socio-cultural context by screenwriter Tony Kushner's adaptation of the original script. It's faithful to the original Broadway script in most ways. It's just more cognizant of the urban renewal, clearing out both working class whites and Hispanic immigrants in that period. And of course, that's going to be tinder to inflame racial strife. I'm a big fan of the original. It didn't matter to me that Natalie Wood, who was perfectly lovely as Maria, was not Latina and needed the singing voice of Marnie Nixon on her songs. But this new one is so terrific. It pays homage to the source material and deftly contextualizes it in a clearer, more gritty way than previously done. And Rachel Zegler, who is of Colombian descent as Maria, is revelatory with an exquisite voice and heart-tugging acting
Hold on a
skill.
second. Revelatory is a ding.
Yeah,
so deftly is a ding. What was the one? He had one other one.
Oh, I forgot.
Keep your dings to yourself.
All right, keep going.
There have been a few complaints about. Oh, by the way, all the Latin American actors playing Latin. I mean, Spielberg was very, very precise about this. He brought in Hispanic actors to play all of the Hispanic
Unlike
roles. Unlike the original. And he also, there's a tomboy who wants to join the Jets, and in this case, played by a non-binary actor, and terrific, by the way. They are terrific, if you will. But there have been some complaints about Ansel Elgort, who you may remember from Solo and Baby Driver, who has apparently been accused of some interpersonal improprieties that have not seemed to have stuck. And if he comes off as a little stiff as Tony, who's the Romeo to Maria's Juliet, remember that he's playing a white ex-juvenile delinquent trying to straighten out his life, for the love of this emotional Puerto Rican girl, and his peers, white and Hispanic, are all crazy gang members prone to violence. I've also heard people say that his singing is flat baloney. I spent a lot of time as a pop music critic, and he's right on point, and everybody in this movie sings their own parts, which is really fantastic compared to the previous version, which is lovely, but there were a lot of actors that were dubbed by singers.
So you're saying to those critics, you're happy with it.
Good day, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In any event, everyone does their own singing, including a stunning Ariana DeBose as Maria's best friend, the Spitfire Anita, and the great Rita Moreno, who was Anita in the original film. Here plays Valentina, who is the Puerto Rican widow of the white owner of Doc's neighborhood drugstore. Despite it being Spielberg at the helm, nothing mawkish or heavy-handed, no PC. The music is timeless. It's just a powerful movie. Plus, the performances are great across the board. As I said, very familiar with the material thanks to the original. And this hardened cynic was wet-eyed by the end of the new version.
You actually cried. How about that?
It honors the source material,
Your
Shakespeare
cold,
included.
dark heart. You found some tears.
Offers deeper context regarding the period, the New York City setting, and the sociology of the story. It's in theaters and a beautiful experience to see it on the big screen, to be, to be honest. And so get vaxxed, wear your mask, and get ready to wring the mask out afterwards from all the tears.
Mawkish is a ding word, by the way. Do you see me as a jet or what is the other one? A jet
I think of you more not as a jet or a shark, but maybe
shark,
Doc's cousin running the soda jerk.
How dare you? How dare you? All right.
All right. Being the Ricardos is the latest movie from writer-director Aaron Sorkin. As I said, the creator of the West Wing TV show and the backstage TV dramedy Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. That's a mouthful. Mr. Walkie-Talkie Dialogue himself. And here he returns to what he tried to do with Studio 60, peeking behind the scenes at the machinations required to produce a TV comedy show. Only this time, it's set in the 50s, not the present day. And it's a real show, not a fictional one. And at the heart of Being the Ricardos are the sitcom queen and king of the golden age of television, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. In real life, Lucy and Desi were a pretty white comedic actress married to a handsome Cuban singer, bandleader, and actor. And although TV executives were reluctant to greenlight a show about an interracial married couple on network TV, Lucy's popularity on the radio was such that she pushed for a show featuring fictionalized versions of her and her husband, Lucy and Ricky Ricardo. I guess this was kind of like a jet marrying a shark. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, as is common knowledge, it became the most popular show of the day and a high water mark in sitcom history. I Love Lucy. Oddly enough, by the way, some people may know this. The working title of my autobiography is "I Love Loosely," but that's a bit of a.
There you go.
I digress.
Very well. Very well done.
Sorkin decided.
I do hug and kiss people casually.
Go ahead, Sorkin.
Sorkin decided to tell the Ball Arnaz story by highlighting a period, a very perilous week. Producing an episode of I Love Lucy during the right-wing congressional witch hunts of the 50s.
That's right.
When Lucy was accused of being a communist by a very powerful radio gossip monger, Walter Winchell. So this, of course, freaked out the network execs at CBS and the sponsors, a notorious cigarette company, endangering the show and endangering the careers of Lucy and Desi. Meanwhile, Lucy suspects her ladies' man husband of cheating on her. Yikes.
He was a notorious runaround.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. The conceit is timely considering the political climate of today. The script is inventive. The art direction is great. And the supporting cast, particularly J.K. Simmons and Nina Arianda, as William Frawley and Vivian Vance, who play the Ricardos' best friends, Fred and Ethel Mertz. They were great. I totally bought them. But as good as their performances are in the backstage and private moments, Nicole Kidman as Lucy and Javier Bardem as Desi never truly embody the real-life icons they're playing.
Wow.
They're always Kidman and Bardem doing impressions. And look, Bardem is sexy and good-looking in a rough, craggy way, whereas Desi, he was sleek, handsome. He had leading man looks. Kidman's beauty is luminous and serene, whereas Lucy was expressive and earthy and a gifted comedian who could contort her face in a really hilarious, rubbery way. I mean, how shall I put this? Kidman isn't a natural clown, so the simulations of comedy scenes from I Love Lucy always seem off, and Lucy didn't have access to Botox. There you go. There's the difference.
Oh, you had to make a low blow there. Luminous would be a ding word, by the way, Chris.
Being the Ricardos is an interesting look at the couple, but I think it could have been so much better with different lead actors. Anyway, one final thing that the movie really gets right. Lucy might have been the big star and a really savvy, creative mind, but Desi Arnaz was a top-notch businessman.
Oh, my God,
and
yes.
in fact, created the 3-camera shoot in front of a live studio audience, revolutionizing situation comedy forever. So blame him for that. Being the Ricardos is in theaters and coming to Amazon Prime right before Christmas.
Wow, I can't wait to see it still. I think we kind of grew up with Lucy reruns, most of us, and also that story of Lucy and Desi. You know, they were a combustible couple.
It's great.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
When I saw the casting, you know what I said?
Can you let him finish, sir?
No, I don't think I want to let him finish. Michael, we're out of time. Did you have one more? You had just like a word? I'm
really
literally
quickly,
out of time. I have no
J.K.
time.
Simmons is a really significant part of National Champions, which is a contemporary drama that examines the ethics and economics of collegiate athletics during the weekend of the national championship when two star players decide to go on strike because they think there's inequities in the collegiate system and think that the student athletes need to get paid. It's really, really good cast. Kristen Chenoweth and your pal Lil Rel Howery.
Oh, yeah. I love Lil Rel.
And Uzo Aduba, Timothy Oliphant. Really terrific cast. All I will say about it is it's thoughtful and ambitious, but it offers neither solutions nor conclusions, and maybe a little too inside college football for some, but I thought it was pretty good. National Champions in theaters. I think it'll play well at home.
Okay.
It was great. I loved it.
Okay. All right.
Very nice.
National Champions, you think it'll play well at home. That's his wink of saying wait for it to be streamable. And then, of course, you liked West Side Story. You really liked it.
I loved it. One of the best films of the year.
Wow. And on Lucy and Desi...
fascinating story.
Yeah,
great performances.
I really want to see it.
A little miscast in the lead roles, but they're such good actors that they carry you along. What it could have been, you know.
All right. Thanks for coming in on Thursday. We'll see you next week on Friday, your normal day. And thank you, Michael Snyder. You can read him in the Marina Times. He's also at Culture Blaster.
There is no defense for my conduct.
Oh, well, okay. I don't know.
Thanks.
I don't know what that's about. All right. Michael, thank you. Bye-bye.
See you, Michael.